It's the start of a new season here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live, and it's the start of the Porsche iRacing Cup. For the second season, well, sort of, we're about to get underway here at the Sebring International Raceway and get the opening race of the season in the books. Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, I should say. Azenbath here with Conrad Venter, and Conrad, it's Sebring. Interesting place to get the season underway. Of course, the 12 hours was here just a few days ago in real life, and you've had experience of racing in the 12 hours on iRacing as well. It's a pretty challenging track.
A very challenging track. We only single stinted for that 12-hour race because it's pretty intense. And interestingly enough, a couple of days ago we did 4 hours of the Nürburgring in the VLN series, and we noticed lapping around there at the MX-5 was a lot easier and less stressful than doing an hour stint in a GT3 around here. So these guys are in for a real treat, and I'm getting sweaty backs on as well.
Yeah, you were racing in a BMW in the 12-hour race, surrounded by a whole load of Audis and Mercedes. I don't think that sounds too pleasant.
No, we obviously went for the car that wasn't the favoured one, but us lot, we like a challenge. So I suppose it went alright after a little bit of an early incident. So yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Well, it's going to be a 12-lap race here in the Porsche iRacing Cup. Standing starts as well. We're used to seeing rolling starts in this car, but yeah, we'll be going underway from a standing start with the red lights. We start off the season here at Sebring, Mount Panorama, round 2 next week on the 21st of March. And Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. Well, we head to Brands Hatch Indy, then Nürburgring, which I think is the GP circuit, the 24-hour GP circuit, 3 laps around there. Road America in mid-April, and then Imola, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, Circuit Spa, I should say, at the beginning of May. Then the 24 hours of Le Mans circuit, 6 laps around that track on the 9th of May. Then Circuit Zolder in Belgium, 16th of May, and then Phillip Island, and we end the season at Laguna Seca, where the IMSA series got underway yesterday. And back to what we were just saying before we ran through the calendar, Conrad. Standing starts. Most of the Porsche drivers will have been used to racing in the IMSA series and doing rolling starts there. How difficult is it to get these Porsches away from a standing start?
I don't think it's that difficult. I think what they're really looking to do, and you'll see some of the guys practicing their starts as we get to the end of qualifying, is just managing that wheel spin right at the beginning. When the race gets underway, you'll see a few guys that can't control it, and they'll get eaten up from behind from the guys who can do it.
Yeah, and this is a top split as well, so we will be seeing the best in the business in this Porsche supposedly getting away from the line. Well, qualifying's just underway at the moment. We haven't got too long left. The drivers have 2 laps to get a lap in, and it's Mikko Parvalainen who is currently on pole position, and then and you can see a trend here. Another Mikko in second, Mikko Melkala in second place, pro license as well for him, and Moritz Lerner in third, with Petteri Kotavara in fourth, and Joni Heikkinen in 5th place. So the Scandinavian drivers, Conrad, well represented inside the top 5. 4 of the top 5 are represented from that club.
Yeah, they've given us a real job with names and surnames for tonight. I guess it's punishment for something we've done. But I'm just going to apologise in advance for anybody out there. If we butcher any of the names, it's not because we want to. It's just because we don't know any better.
Yeah, we'll try our best. As even Maillard puts his Porsche into pole position, car 1 as well. He's got the highest I rating in the field. He's just put it right up there at the front of the grid, and ruins the Scandinavian party somewhat, the Frenchman. We've got a few pro drivers in the field today, I should note. We've got Mikko Melkala, as we were just mentioning. Moritz Lerner, also a pro driver. Jack Sedgwick, the Briton, he's also a pro driver, along with Sebastian Dunkel as well. So quite a few pro drivers to watch out for in this field today. And let's run you through the grid then as we're heading down to the start line. Evan Maillard starts on pole position. Mikko Parvalainen in second. Mikko Melkala in third. Moritz Lerner in fourth. And Petteri Kotavara in fifth. Joni Heikkinen in 6th, Adrian Bitsa in 7th, 8th Christian Thilo Zook, we saw him in the IMSA race yesterday, Jack Sedgwick in 9th, and Sebastian Dunkel running at the top 10. Maxime Bryant in 11th with Luka Petronic in 12th. 13th is Juso Heitler with Bruno Fontalba in 14th. 15th is Norbert Leitner, and then 16th Joseph Burton Harris, another driver we saw in the IMSA race yesterday. Pierre Leonardi in 17th, Bastien Remis in 18th. 19th is David Planiol, and then 20th Robin Esterson. And then towards the rear of the field we've got Carol Chauvelag in 21st, Mario Vlasic in 22nd, and Otguts Durac in 23rd place.
I think you went through that starting grid quite well, better than I could have done. Very good.
There we go. Well, this is the first time I'm going to see a Porsche race on iRacing, so I don't know what to expect, and it's the start of a new season as well, so we'll see if there is a new running order at the front. Just 20 seconds to go, 24 degrees air temperature here today at Sebring, 24 degrees track temperature as well, and we don't have to worry about pit stops. It is a quick blast to the finish here. Here we go then. Lights are on.
Green, green, green.
And runs away for the start of a new season. Terrible start from Parvalainen in second. He's just got gobbled up. That's the wheel spin that Conrad was talking about at the beginning of the show. It's Moritz Lerner going up into second place into the first corner. Mikko Melkula is now in third. And Parvalainen, who started on the front row, down to fourth as the Samsung car off. It is car 13. That is Baetzer. And he is right at the back. Terrible start for him, Conrad.
Yeah, it's got a bit congested into turn one there, and like you said, who was it that had that terrible start with the wheel spin?
Yeah, it's Parvalainen, and he's down to fourth place now, lost 2 positions away from the line. Joni Heikkinen also lost a position as well away from the line as we head into the hairpin for the first time here. Hard on the brakes, cold tyres, cold brakes as well in the early stages. Very tightly congested here. Petronic and Juso Heitler are going side by side there through the hairpin, and we've got another car off in the background. That is Carl Chauvelag, and everyone else now into the second sector of the lap. Pretty hard to get an overtake done here around Conrad. This part of the circuit, you've really got to be single file.
Yeah, I think this is where you're going to set yourself up for an overtake, either on the back straight down on the run to the last corner, or even on the start-finish straight going into turn one.
Now we're going into a quick section of the circuit before we head back onto the back straights, which is another place to get some slipstreaming and overtakes done. We're just heading now through turn 14, Bishop, and into the Le Mans complex of corners 15 and 16 on the track, and Evan Maillard already got a 4/10 of a second lead over Moritz Lerner. Of course, Lerner the pro driver, and he's got a pro driver behind him in Mikko Melkula, so we'll see what those guys can do, or whether they can stop the Frenchman Evan Maillard from pulling away at the front here. Now into a section of the circuit, Conrad, Sunset Bend, very bumpy. You're going to be seeing the suspension on these Porsches bouncing around quite vigorously going through this final corner. A
very difficult corner in this car. I've done a few laps around you in the Porsche this week, and if you brake too late, you're obviously going to spend more time on the brakes going into the corner, and you just plow straight on through those cones, and then that wall on the outside of the circuit becomes very big very quickly.
Yeah, we saw a big crash in the Sebring 12 hours the other day, and yeah, that was a brake problem I think for one of the prototypes, and yeah, quite a big crash there. But end of the first lap then, Evan Maillard leads Moritz Lerner by 7/10 of a second. Mikko Melkula in third. Fourth is Mikko Parvalainen after that poor start. So we've got a huge incident at the back. That is Luka Petronic, who's just gone flying off into the tyre barrier. Conrad, I don't know if we can get a replay of this, but just looking back on the replay, well, it looks like he might have just understeered wide there. He was going side by side with Juso Heitler, who was just behind him, and he got forced onto the grass. But yeah, rather bizarre crash.
Yeah, that started a corner before, and then they made contact, and he just seemed to plow straight on. His car's not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Crashed. Sorry, Conrad. Sebastian Dunkel, the pro driver. We were talking about him just when we were going through the grid. He's gone off. Looks like he got hit at the rear by Jack Sedgwick and the Inex driver. Interesting one there. Just looking back on the replay, it looks like it looks like that Sebastian Dunkel might have broke a bit too early for the corner, and yeah, he got hit at the rear by Jack Sedgwick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a it wasn't really like he pulled across Sedgwick into what was on the racing line. A bit of a strange one.
Pulled over, yeah, and then yeah, my assumption is he might have broke a bit too early. Just heard from Luka Petronic he had the pedal got stuck. That's why he went straight on at such a fair rate of knots. I remember there was a driver in the BSRTC that the name will come back to me that had a stuck throttle and literally went flying into the wall at Druids in one of the past seasons. Colin Cunniff, that was it. Yeah, he had a huge incident on quite a few occasions as well. Became quite famous for having constant hardware failures. But now back to the battle at the front then, as we're on lap 3, already a quarter of the way into the race. And Evan Mild hasn't broken away at all really, Conrad. Maurits Lerner was 0.2 of a second quick on that last lap, so giving him some cause for concern in the early going.
Yeah, I think from the end of this lap, or possibly the end of lap 4, we'll get a better idea of the true pace with these new tyres. They do take a little while to get up to pressure properly. Obviously, that would have been negated a little bit by the latest patch that we got, which got higher minimum tyre pressures. But it is still, with a cold track like this and the overcast conditions we've got, it's very difficult in the early going.
We just lost one car that spun around at turn 6, I think it is, the hairpin. That was Bastien Remis. He was around at turn 7 actually, that's known as the hairpin. And car 14 back on his way. However, he is now the last car running, even being passed by Karel Schwerleweig. So yeah, bad moment for him there. It doesn't look like he picked up too much contact. Some of the biggest movers we've had through the field so far. Joseph Burton-Harris, fantastic job. The Australasian driver up 7 positions to 9th. Also up 7 positions, Robin Esterson, the New Yorker. And up 6 positions, Oguts Jurak. He started at the back of the field. So good job so far from those guys to get up through the field. And yeah, the cars that have suffered badly during the race. Down 13 positions, Adrian Baetzer, we saw him around in turn 1, and Sebastian Dunkel also around after getting hit up the rear by Jack Sedgwick. So problems for those guys in the early going as one. So now lap 4 of the race, 1/3 distance. Lap times last time around, 2:01.726 for Evan Maillard. That was the fastest lap of the race actually. Maurits Lerner was just a 10th of a second slower. However, he seems to be quick through this section of corners, Conrad, here at turns 3, 4 and 5. Maurits Lerner seems to be able to hold a tighter line than Evan Maillard.
Yeah, it's the rest of the track where he's got to get closer though in order to make an overtake. There's not much use being up the rear bump of the guy in front around turns 2, 3 and 4 if you can't do something about it on the straights.
Even with the Porsches being rear-wheel drive, is it easy to lose control of the rear in these cars? It seems to be pretty. Oh, so up the inside goes Maurits Lerner. More on that in a moment. He has his first attack on Evan Maillard here as we head through turns 10, 11 and 12. Callier corner here, and now into Tower at turn 13. He's got Maillard on the defensive here, Maurits Lerner, and it's right where he wants to be. He's got a good run on the exit here as well. He might fancy his chances either going into Le Mans as we go through Bishop here, turn 14, or maybe even into Sunset Bend, turn 17. He's got quite a few options here. Probably the best opportunity, Conrad, is just to hang back through this section of corners and then use the slipstream going into the final corner.
Oh, you can see him struggling to. You can see that gap just opening up a little bit as they went through those section of corners. But if he's going to try and make a move, he's going to have to be sure that it sticks. Otherwise, we've seen in the past very, very quickly how quickly a gap can disappear to the cars behind when you start battling.
Through Sunset Bend, then through turn 17, and he goes very wide. And now here comes Maurits Lerner. They're going to be wheel to wheel, side by side across the line as we start lap 5 of the race, quickly approaching half race distance here. And Myers will hold the inside, but you can get it done around the outside. And Maurits Lerner's going to go for it here, but I think Evan Myers should just have enough, and he is clear. But for how much longer? Into turn 3 we go now. to turn 4 and 5, this quick S section, and then through turn 5 and 6. The long right-hander on this straight, known as Big Bend, and then into the hairpin at turn 7. And I tell you what, Conrad, Moritz Lerner didn't get the best exit at all there, and now he could be allowing the cars like Mikko Melkala and Parvelainen to close in as well. Sorry, just behind these guys, Tilo Zuk and Joni Heikkinen are both going side by side into the hairpin.
Yeah, we'll see how these guys manage to come through here. Yeah, very nicely done, giving each other plenty of space. Quite surprised to see the spread we've got in the field after, well, just coming or nearing in on halfway, as they go for a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action once more.
They're close there, and yeah, these guys quite far away from the gaggle of cars that they've got in front of them, but this is over a final spot. Oh no, it is a spot in the top 6. And then just behind those guys, they've got Maxime Bryant in 8th place, French driver there, and yeah, Joseph Burton-Harris, one of the biggest movers. He's in 9th, and he's got Juuso Heitala, the pro driver. Oh no, he's not a pro driver, he's just a Scandinavian driver in 10th place. And then it's Bruno von Talbot just behind those guys as well. Our race leader then, Evan Meyer, has been able to get the gap up to just under a second, hovering around 9/10 of a second going into the final corner now. Moritz Lerner's going to have to try everything he can inside the next few laps, try and get back within a few tenths of a second by the time we get to the end of the race, as they really hang it out wide there through the final corner, and you're in danger, Conrad, of almost putting it onto the grass, and that wall on the exit, you can almost hit it.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen the car actually sticking into that wall. It's almost like the Wall of Champions around Montreal, really.
Yeah, there's quite a few corners like that in North America. We've got a battle here between Jack Sedgwick and that is Robin Esterson. The two of them going at it into turn 3. Oh, he's trying to go around the outside, Sedgwick in that Inex livery. Oh, he's trying to give the room to Esterson on the inside. And looks like Esterson is through. Now we could watch out because Norbert Leitner is going to get a good run through Big Bend here at turn 6.
And there I was,
into turn 7.
There I was, you saying you can't do overtakes through turns 2 and 3. Shows you how much I know.
Oh yeah, it's not recommended, is it, running side by side through there? You're really running the risk of just the slightest tap to the rear, and with these Porsches being rear-wheel drive, that's all it takes to spin these cars around. They're definitely not Kia Optimas. You wouldn't see any Maciej Sakovic-style saves like we saw at Imola on Saturday night. Those would probably end with even going to the Armco barrier.
We'll just go with a little on board with Jack Sedgwick. Looks like he's got his hands full at the moment in a battle with what's it, Norbert Leitner.
He's now trying to go on the offensive here. Jack Sedgwick trying to get past. That is, yeah, Norbert Leitner. Who's he got behind? He's got Pierre Leonardi behind him as well. So he's got to fend off attacks from both sides here. And now they head onto the back straight, the Allman Straight, around this 5.95 kilometre circuit, 17 corners as we've been saying. You also see the DRS markers in the background for in case they run any of the Formula 1 cars here. Of course, Formula 1 is back this weekend, the Australian Grand Prix. Now Sedgwick up the inside, trying to get a good run on the exit. You can see he's able to hold a tighter line on the exit. That might serve him good down a front straight here. While the lap times that they're doing, Sedgwick does a 2:04.7, 2:03.5 for Norbert Leitner in front, but you can see Sedgwick definitely got the better run through the first corner here. But you've really got to be alongside Conrad on the exit of turn 1 to get a move done into turn 3, which they've just gone into now.
Yeah, we've just I've just jumped up to the battle for third and fourth place as well. Those guys are pretty close, just about a third of a second between the three of them, third, fourth, and fifth. Those Scandinavians are keeping each other company tonight.
Yeah, this is Mikko third and fourth. Mikko Melkala and Mikko Parvelainen. It's the battle to be the best Mikko in this race. And the Black Star Racing car of Parvelainen, who started on the front row of the grid, remember, got a bad start away from the line, lit up the rears really too much and lost a whole load of positions. He still hasn't been able to recover any of them since the start, and now he's trying to get that final spot on the podium and take it away from Mikko Melkala, the pro driver. Mikko Melkala, let's not forget that. Races in one of the iRacing World Championship Series that we've got. And now through the Le Mans section, corners 15 and 16, and now onto the back straight. See if Paavalainen can get a good run, and see if he can latch onto the back of that Porsche in front of him and get a decent tow, and maybe fancy his chances of getting a position. It looks like he's just too far away for the time being, and even in a straight as long as this one, the Ullman straight, quite long, he isn't able to use a slipstream at all to get close enough to get an overtake done.
You can really see that car bumping, or jumping over those little bumps on the apex of that final corner.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, really. I wouldn't want to be in the car at that point. Your arms and your body would be bouncing all over the place. It would be an interesting ride for sure. So we're now on to lap 8 of the race. We are 2/3 distance here in round 1 of the Porsche iRacing Cup here at the Sebring International Raceway, live on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live for you. You can see how much they slide those Porsches on the exit of corner 5. And now through corner 6, big bend, and into turn 7, known as the hairpin. Not close enough just yet to get an overtake done, and they don't have too much aero on this car, Conrad, but yeah, they're struggling to get overtakes done here.
It's something that Alex and I spoke about quite a few times last season. They've got that rear wing on the car that means very little, and yeah, there's nothing that aids on the car that aids downforce, and yeah, it's a very good car, I think, to as our leader has a little lock-up going into the corner. It's a very good car to learn the trade, to learn how to drive on iRacing or to drive a racing car. Somebody has said if you can drive this car and you can drive it fast, you can drive anything on iRacing.
I need to get in it then. Maybe it might improve my skills as a driver as we go through Le Mans again to start lap 9. We're almost at 3/4 distance, and I'll tell you what, Paavalainen is much closer this time. He's got a fantastic run on the exit of turn 16. Is the straight long enough for him to get a move done into Sunset Bend though? We're reaching speeds of 250 plus kilometers per hour, 260 as we go into Sunset Bend, and Mikko Paavalainen has a little bit of a look at the inside, and there you go, there goes Mikko Melkala. He goes very wide, and this might be the opportunity for him to get it done here. The final spot on the podium up for grabs, but it looks like Mikko Melkala has just been able to hold it on just for now, Conrad, as we come across the line.
Yeah, I think him being running a little bit wider, he didn't have to negotiate those bumps on the apex of the corner, which gave him a little bit more traction coming out of the corner, of course.
Sebring International Raceway, former airfield, of course, that bumpy section, one of the runways here at the circuit. Hasn't really changed this circuit much since they started racing around here. I think it hosted one race meeting in the Formula 1 World Championship a long time ago, I should say, back in about the 50s. But yeah, hosts sports car racing now, the 12 Hours of Sebring every year. It's just been gone for 2017.
Yeah, I think I've seen I think quite a few F1 races have been held, yeah, but I remember seeing a documentary on TV about one particular F1 race, and there's still the days when the guys came in for a pit stop where they had a hammer to loosen the wheel nut, and it had these little wings on the wheel nut to get it off. So a pit stop's not quite taking 3 seconds back in those days, but yeah, technology and things have changed quite a bit recently, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. You wouldn't be seeing the F1 mechanics of today hitting the car with a hammer. Or it would be quite amusing, really, with Lewis Hamilton sat in the pits with one of the mechanics doing that. On to lap 9 then. Yeah, they hosted the Grand Prix here in 1959. Bruce McLaren won the race. Sterling Moss started on pole position. There's a pub quiz for you.
Oh, was John Surtees in that race? I can almost remember seeing him in that particular documentary. Here we go. Now start googling away, fellas.
Yeah, I'm digging away at Wikipedia as we speak. It doesn't look like he was in the race. We did have a British driver on the podium, and Tony Brooks in a Ferrari back in 1959. Jack Brabham was racing as well in those days. Yeah, so nostalgia for you there. on Apex Racing TV. We should commission our own documentary series, Conrad. On to lap 10 then of 12. 3 laps to go here. Not too many advances just yet in this battle inside the top 5. We seem to have hit a truce here at the moment. I wonder if any action will appear inside the final 3 laps of the race though. Top 10 is still held of Evan Maillard leading the way, 1.3 seconds now ahead of Moritz Lerner. Third is Mikko Melkala, 4th is Mikko Parvalainen, then it is Petteri Kotovara in 5th, 6th on his own is Joni Heikkinen, Christian Thilo Zucker's dropped back a bit off his earlier tempo in 7th, 8th is Maxime Briant, and then 9th is Joseph Burton Harris with Juuso Heikkinen pretty close to him, rounding out the top 10. We've only had 1 car in the pits, and that was Luka Petronic after his stuck throttle early on.
Yeah, there's not much in the way of battles going on, although Jack Sedgwick was just having a little look at Leitner again, but he's going to come under pressure from Leonardi.
Yeah, Leonardi having a little look here going into the back end of the circuit near Tower Bend at turn 13. This is the Collier section of corners.
We'll have a little look. We'll stay with him at least up until the end of the back straight, and we'll get a speed comparison up as well, and see just how much the draft is making a difference in this car. I suspect it's not going to be much.
As Sedgwick goes wide into Le Mans, this is surely going to hinder him, especially through this pass anyway. It might hinder him onto the Allman straight as we're about to start the penultimate lap here. Leonardi pretty close on the exit, and Sedgwick was able to recover it pretty well actually after that slight lockup going into turn 15. And let's see the speeds then. 262 kilometers per hour reached by Pierre Leonardi there as we go into the final corner. Lockups from both of those drivers actually, and you can see the different lines. Sedgwick taking the tighter line, runs out wide on the exit, and Pierre Leonardi seems to have got the best line really. He was able to hold his speed through the middle, but looks like he just won't be able to get a move done now.
Oh, he's tried a little too hard. You can see how much that lockup's going to cost him coming out of turn 1. Obviously trying to get on the brakes a little bit later to close up to the back of Sedgwick, and just not working at all.
Close battle now between Joseph Burton Harris and Maxime Briant as we big bend at turn 6 and into turn 7. Gonna have a look actually at the inside Burton Harris, and he's gone for it. There you go, that's a fantastic move there, long way back, forces Briant onto the grass and got a little bit of air there actually. And now here comes Juuso Heikkinen. He fancies his chances going through turn 8 and 9, the Fangio section of corners, and he's going to go up the inside as well. So terrible section of corners here for Maxime Briant, all helped of course by Joseph Burton Harris forcing him wide on the exit, and yeah, within a blinking of an eye, Juuso Heikkinen is now down to, was up into 9th, Maxime Briant down to 10th, and Joseph Burton Harris now up into 8th places. Surge through the field continues.
Well, Briant had to do a massive run across the grass. I'm surprised he didn't get a slowdown penalty for that. And well, not that he would have gained any time going across slippery grass, but yeah, we know how the corner cut penalties work, and sometimes you get one even though you don't deserve it.
Seems to be the way it works, doesn't it? Even to the final corner we go now. We're about to get the white flag. Is there going to be any late moves by Mikko Parvalainen on Mikko Melkala to get that final spot inside the top 3? With the final corner we go then. White flag is in the air. Quick race here around the Sebring International Raceway today in the Porsche iRacing Cup. Evan Maillard is definitely, as long as he doesn't do a Lewis Bibby and pull into the pits like on Saturday, then he should be on course for his first win of the season in round 1. And Mikko Parvalainen trying his best, but looks like the Mikko Melkala, the pro driver, this guy all in reserve as he slides his way through turn 5. And I think he's got enough. He's been able to hold him at bay, Conrad, for the past 11 laps. If he just does what he's been doing there, he should be able to keep Parvalainen back for just one more lap.
Well, Parvalainen's last lap was 0.2 of a second quicker. So I don't know, maybe his tyres are just in a little bit of better shape coming into this last lap.
Interesting, you should say. Yeah, interesting you should say that time, Colin, actually, because his time last time around was the quickest of anyone on that last lap. Joseph Burton Harris and Yuso Heitler, they're going side by side through Fangio, so he might have to cut to this battle now. Heitler looking for the inside, but Burton Harris moves across and covers that off into turn 10. Going to go to the outside, Heitler, and he better watch out because Briant will want one of those positions that he lost a lap ago back. And now into Tower Bend. He's going to go for the inside, isn't he? That's brave.
Oh, there's no space.
Contact made just to the rear, light contact to the rear of that Porsche. It wasn't enough to make Joseph Burton Harris lose too much control. This is a fantastic battle at the end of the race for what is 8th position. He's going up the inside, contact made, and off goes Joseph Burton Harris. And that's a shame, really. It'd been a brilliant drive through the field from him, and I had an awful camera view, so I couldn't actually see what happened. But we'll have a look at that after the race, because here comes Evan Maillard. Fantastic job from him today, considering he had two pro drivers behind him. And it's a fantastic start to the season for the Frenchman. Checkered flag in the air, and round 1 of the Porsche iRacing Cup, as he locks the brakes across the line, goes to Evan Maillard, second for Moritz Lerner, and Mikko Malkola rounds at the podium.
And there's still a little battle going on here for
Sedgwick, isn't it? Oh, a drag race to the line, and Jack Sedgwick comes across the line and gets 12th place. It was pretty close between him and Leitner there at the end. And Joseph Burton Harris comes across the line and finishes in 15th place. He had gained 8 positions before that crash. And he finished in 15th place in the end. Just going to have a look back now at what happened to Joseph Burton Harris for myself, Conrad. Having a
See
look.
if we can get up on the replay. I think I've managed to find it.
Oh, he just gets a tap, and this time it was enough to send the Porsche off. Tell you what though, that was fantastic for Briant, because he got all those positions that he lost on that previous lap back.
Yeah, well, there's just like a little left tap. You can see the difference in these cars, how they react to little taps like that. If we saw a tap like that in the Kia, the car would hardly move. In the Porsche, it goes flying and it gets ready for launch.
Rocket ship on its way to Mars, you could say. And Burton Harris was out of control there. Let's run you through the finishing order then from the opening race of the season. Win for Evan Maillard, second for Moritz Lerner, third for Mikko Malkola, fourth for Mikko Parvalainen. And that poor start, it just cost him those 2 positions, and he wasn't able to recover inside the 24-minute race that we had today. Petteri Kotavara finishing in 5th, Joni Heikkinen in 6th, Christian Thilo Zook finishing in 7th, 8th for Maxime Briant. Got those 2 positions back on the final lap of the race after starting in 11th, so good job through the field from him. Bruno Fontalba, 14th to 9th, one of the big movers today, and an even bigger mover, Robin Esterson, I should say, finishing in 10th after starting in 20th place. Juuso Heitler finishing in 11th, 12th Jack Sedgwick, 13th for Norbert Leitner, Pierre Leonardi in 14th place, Joseph Burton Harris in the end finished in 15th position. Ogutz Jurak finished in 16th place after starting in 23rd, another of the biggest movers through the field. Sebastian Dunkel down 7 positions after that collision at turn 10 in the early going. Bastien Remis finishing in 18th place. Adrian Baetzer, we saw him around in the opening few corners, finished in 19th place. David Planiol in 20th. Mario Vlasic in 21st. Karol Chevaliger in 22nd place. And Luka Petronic with that stuck throttle. He went off and finished in 23rd, 10 laps down. Right then. Tonight on Apex Racing TV at 1 AM UK time, because the hours have gone forward in America, we have, after a 2-week break, the next race of the Ritmatech Sports Car Series. That is back. We're racing at, as I quickly get the schedule up frantically to see where we're racing. I should know really. We are racing at... Roll to the top, please. We're racing at the Circuit of the Americas, which is a track we don't often see too much on Apex Racing TV for some reason. We like the track, but no money series seem to race around there. We're going to be there for a 60-minute race at 1 AM. So before you think of heading off to bed, join us for a quick 60-minute race around the host of the United States Grand Prix. Well, my thanks to Conrad for doing the cameras and joining me in the commentary box. And thank you for watching. And yeah, make sure you can join us for the Wentworth Sports Car Series later today. It's a fantastic start for Evan Maillard. The Frenchman is on top here at Sebring in the iRacing Porsche Cup. Goodbye.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.